but so that's what I would say. Chippendale Rescue Rangers is more. It's kind of like a spiritual sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, more than what you think it might be. Because I didn't think it was going to be this either when I saw the title. But let us get onto Show Trial.
Yeah,
So
show trial. This will be interesting actually, because you say BBC iPlayer, right?
Yeah, BBC iPlayer
Oh,
Show
wow.
Trial. So this is one of those list of shows that I think BBC, when Netflix came along, I think BBC realized that they had to up their game. So they started doing some co-collaborations with or is it no, it's just a collaboration, isn't it? They started collaborations with like American TV shows where you could see all of the production values went up and the money that was spent on this thing went up and all that. And this is one of those things. It is about I think seven to eight episodes long. And the whole idea behind it is that you kick off, and when you kick off, you are in a student fair. A student fair at a university in Bristol, and you see that there's students getting drunk, having like an end of term party almost, and then it cuts to the next day, and someone's getting arrested. But the person who's getting arrested, her father is a Sir somebody who is good friends with Tory MPs and all that.
Yeah.
So he's essentially he's well off. He's well off, and his daughter gets arrested, and she gets arrested for the murder of a schoolmate at the university, somebody who she used to be friends with, who has disappeared, and they don't know where the body is, and her mother has complained. And then the whole thing goes into the fact that you start trying to figure out, on the one hand, figure out the case and figure out what happened to this girl, why did this girl disappear, and on the other hand, it's trying to figure out whether this person, because the main character in this is almost deliberately unlikable. She almost sets out to be so she's rich, she's privileged, she's stuck up, she treats everybody around her like a servant. She acts like everything is like below
Hate her
her
already.
Exactly. And so the idea is she actually going to get a fair trial, or is she just going to get absolutely crucified in the tabloid press, and they've made up their mind that, oh, we don't like her because she's already done it. And because we've already had like a real life, not quite a murder trial, but the whole Agatha Christie thing with Rebecca Vardy and Colleen Rooney, which, even though you might not care about anything to do with celebrity, you have not been able to run away from. I'm sure Sean, I'm sure even you have heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's a similar kind of thing where it's like there's the jury of public opinion where people already made up their minds what they think one way or another, and it's sort of similar with this, and it's trying to fit. And you meet her sort of public defender. I don't know what they're called in the UK, but it's like a they're appointed by the states to and even though her father has a lot of money, she doesn't want any of her father's money. She doesn't want anything to do with that. And her dad is like showing up going, here's my lawyer, don't worry, and telling the lawyer, we'll take it from here. And she's like, no, I want this lawyer. So she has her lawyer stays with her. Her lawyer,
legal aid.
Yes, like that. Her lawyer stays with her and goes through the whole thing, and then you just get to find a little bit more about the way the British legal system works, which is more riveting than it sounds. And also, you follow all these different characters and all the different machinations that are being done because you have these two privileged kids, these two privileged kids who got turned down by Oxford, and one of them, his mum is an MP, and her dad is like a rich property magnate, and it's all about them pulling strings behind the thing to make sure that their kids don't end up in jail. Then one of them is trying to blame the other, and the other one's trying to blame the other, and all the work. And it's really well done, really well scripted, so much so that it gets to the end, and it's one of those things where it gets to the end and there's still questions to be asked, and it's almost kind of like, okay, what question are we trying to ask here? Are we trying to ask who actually killed this person, or are we just trying to figure out who do we want to blame for it? And at the end of it, which one of these does it matter? So I thought it was quite well done. I thought that the performances were really, really, really good across the board, and mostly from a whole bunch of people that I had never seen before. Because I'm going to go on here now and try and look up some names.
I think the BBC can do some good quality dramas programs, really. I think they quite a few of their productions have been pretty decent affairs, I think.
Yeah.
I think so too.
They still speak quality, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is. So there's Celine Buckens who plays Talitha. So once you hear the name Talitha, okay, cool, we're dealing with
That's
it.
It was not a comprehensive schoolgirl, was she?
Yeah, exactly. So she plays Talitha Campbell, and she is so brilliant at being like, you look at her, and you immediately go, don't like her. I think she's cast so well that once they say, "Oh, this could be a tricky trial to do," and you straight away go, "Yeah, I totally get why this would be a tricky trial. Look at her face." It's like, and Tracy Ifeachor, and that last name, that's an Igbo name, that's a Nigerian name, and she plays Cleo, who's the lawyer. And I think it's just a really, really, really well done thing. And you have the whole thing where you have the police, and are the police going to hide evidence because the lead police officer really doesn't like rich toffs.
Oh,
And
right. Yeah.
so there's a whole thing where you have the police who are because they're like, it's obvious that blah 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 has done it, and if it's obvious that blah blah has done it, then what does it matter if we don't give that piece of evidence? And then you have the prosecutors who are like, oh no, we need to have this because we had a scandal where somebody who we were pretty sure was guilty got scot-free because somebody hid some evidence, so we need to have all the evidence. And it's just interesting the way that it spins all these different plates, and I think it does a very good job of explaining who is who's the prosecutor, who's the defense, who are the police, and what their own particular things are. So I really like Showtrial. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I would say go watch it. It will not take up that much of your time. It's about 7-8 episodes, and it's quite well written. And there is a look on one character's face towards the end of it that I think almost exactly summed up my entire feeling about the whole show. And that's all I will say. That's all I would say, because to say more would be to spoil the thing and to tell you what the outcome is. So that's it. 4 stars for Showtrial. So a good day, a good week at home with Prey and with Showtrial.